Hi there guys, it's Pip here again. So today in this video we're going to concentrate on getting a bit closer towards our goals. So by this time you should have created one of these, and you should have also done a mind map on your beliefs and your values and just seen if any of them are in conflict. Now today we're going to really hand down on our particular aspects of our life that we're not happy with. So for me, for example, one thing that has really troubled me in my life and affected my confidence is relationships. So let's have a look at this. What does that mean? And what could I do about it? So here I've literally got on a piece of paper with the word relationships on it. Now, the thing I struggle with is not that I don't have good friends, but I tend not to keep in contact with them. And the reason I tend not to keep in contact with them is I realised that after doing this sheet and writing down by the side of relationships that one of my beliefs and values was that friendships don't last, and that comes from me moving around a lot in my life and thinking that subconsciously they're not worth investing in. So having had a look at that, I've then looked at because I want to be on a 6 and I'm at a 5, I'm kind of going, well, I do want to improve. My subconscious mind tells me I want to improve. What could I do to maybe give myself a bit more confidence in that area? Now, just confidence is not about, we're not going to the moon here, guys, okay? We're going to set ourselves goals that are, we are capable of, that stretch us, but that we are capable of. We don't want to shoot something that is totally unrealistic, That's really not what this is all about. It's about taking steps very, very slowly and not doing something that's unrealistic. So literally I got my pen and, as I say, I've written the word relationships here. What could I do about that? Well, number one, I could ring my friend or text my friend and say, hey, why don't we set up a regular schedule to talk to each other? Why don't we ring each other every other Saturday at 7 o'clock? How does that sound to you? I could maybe decide to set a goal for myself. I'd just write down the word goal and just put something like see my friend every month, maybe, because my friends don't live close to me. I would have to travel and we'd obviously have to fit into each other's schedules on that. So maybe that's something we could agree on. Maybe I could, send them a letter or a postcard every 3 weeks. Maybe if I was on Facebook, I could send them a quick direct message every 2 weeks saying, how's it going? Maybe we could agree to do 3 fun things in a year. Maybe we could agree a certain date to get together. Maybe it's somebody's birthday, or maybe we could agree to say, Halloween, for example, is in 6 months. On Halloween, why don't we get together and have a girly night together? Things like that make a big difference. Maybe I could write a bucket list of things that I would like to do with my friend that I think we would both find fun. I'm not going to go to the extent where I'm saying, right, I have to call my friend every week and visit them every once every month. That's not really feasible for us, and that's not really feasible for me right now because of my friend's schedule, where she is, and travelling distance and my work commitments. So we don't want to go and set something which sounds wonderful but it's not actually feasible. It doesn't fit in with us. Remember, this is about small steps. We're not going to jump the Grand Canyon. We're going to do it slowly, okay? We're still going to get to the end point, but we just want to do it slowly. So this is what I'd advise you to do. Now, you can do it with any area. So if we have a look again at the sheet, we've got things like mental health, diet, finance, social, relationships, physical, careers, spiritual and play. Now, I just want to highlight something within this. So for me, play, for example, I'm not a very playful person by nature. Like, for me, play is maybe a bit childish, and I've discovered that in my values. So I've got to really frame a different way of thinking about that. I don't have to play in terms of physical play. Maybe it could be doing something like rock climbing. Maybe it could be cooking. Maybe it could be reading a fun book every week. Maybe it could be, maybe fun could be ringing a friend. Maybe that could be my sense of play. It doesn't have to be something like, oh, I must join a society, or you know, it's really not about that. If that's not what you want, and this is all about you, remember. So let's get these values right. So that's the next thing I want you to do. Now, I really don't want you to do more than 3 sheets of this, and this is why, because at the end of this we're going to put in 3 goals for 30 days. Okay, 3 goals for 30 days. And we all have hectic lifestyles already. We don't want to be creating goals that are just insane. Having said that, I do not want you to downplay with that, with this in mind. I want you to set some things that you really want, because what that means is in a month's time you could have a better relationship, a better body, a better diet. And as I say, we're not shooting for the moon, we're making small incremental changes. We're not going to go crazy, we're not going to be too lax about it. These are just ideas, guys, so don't feel like you have totally committed to something. I want you to just get creative, and this is going to sound a bit crazy, but something that helps me is when I'm short of ideas, I either look online. You know, I have looked up before videos about friendship on YouTube. I have looked up videos before about confidence. I have looked up, I have a book about designing your life. I have a book about ambition. Just nearly dropped the pen lid there, my apologies. And we needn't feel ashamed that we are searching for the answers for this, because although we've had things like friendship our whole lives, actually if you were to ask somebody how to define that, they would really struggle. So let's just get some ideas down first, and then once you've done that, I want you to actually go around, and if you've got, say, 5 ideas or 10 ideas, it doesn't actually matter how many. I want you to number them in order, and I want you to have a think about actually which ones you might like to write down on your goal sheet, which is what we'll move towards in the next video. So you only have to pick one from each sheet. I suggest, as I say, you do no more than 3 sheets unless you're feeling capable and competent to do that. That's absolutely fine. You know, something like ringing your friend is, we tend to think about it like a big thing, but actually it's not. I only say it requires an hour a day out of you know, your whole 2 weeks, maybe even a month. So let's just get some ideas down first, and let's go from there. Now, if you are really struggling on this, do feel free to contact me. My email is, you should find it below. You can always reach out to me. It's pippaweekly@btinternet.com. So do feel free to get in touch. As you might be aware, on these trainings we do sometimes do live course Q&A webinars, so do feel free to ask me any questions there. That's what this whole thing is about. And I'll see you in the next video, but do this exercise for me, and as I say, do list them in order and decide to commit to one or the other. Bye now.